Welcome to episode 39 of the What Happens Next podcast, the podcast designed to help you get clarity on the next chapter of your life. In this episode, I want to talk about your preparation for the next chapter of your life and talk about a little bit about why we started the What Happens Next project, what we want to get out of it, and how we want to help you get to a point where you've got clarity on your future. Because we know that the next chapter of your life can be uncertain and therefore quite scary. So what we've done is done a number of things, including the quiz, including the model, the wellbeing model, including looking at each area of wellbeing we believe you need to focus on when you're thinking about what happens next: physical, social, community, intellectual and occupational. And what we talk about is why sometimes having a mirror to how we're feeling about the next chapter of our lives is a really important tool. And that's why we've designed the What Happens Next quiz, which is available for free and now on at www.whathappensnext.life. Because I think certainly awareness of knowing where you are in your life and the areas that you might want to choose to improve on is the starting point to a better life well lived. So enjoy the episode. It will give you an insight in terms of the benefits that you've got in terms of having access to them on the What Happens Next website. Hopefully you've done the quiz already and you enjoy the quiz, and we'll see you at the end of the episode. So over the past few weeks, my team and I have been working really hard to make sure that we're helping people who are thinking about what happens next get clarity on where they are from a wellbeing perspective. Before I tell you a bit more about that, I want to tell you a little bit more about me and what we're trying to do at What Happens Next and why it's really important for you to like and subscribe if you think this is going to be valuable. Hopefully I'll give you a decent reason in terms of doing that. So my name's Chris Dames. I'm a chartered financial planner by profession. I spend my days helping people get really clear on where they are financially, work out how much is enough from a financial perspective, and then manage that process so they can live the life they want using money as a tool. That's the day job. However, what I got really curious about 18 months to 2 years ago is thinking about what's next in our lives, be that retirement or a new business or another role, thinking about it from a well-being perspective. Because if you're like me, you've probably seen many of your friends, colleagues, relatives get to their 50s and 60s, really tired of what they're doing, but staying in what they're doing for longer than they should. And part of that comes from fear. Part of that comes from not knowing what to do next. And our job at What Happens Next, we believe, is to empower you with the great knowledge and information we're sharing with our expert guests or sharing on videos like this to support you to do that. However, that needs to have a starting point. So what we've done is shared with you a quiz. And that quiz takes 3 to 5 minutes to do. So at the minute, I'm spending a lot of time writing the What Happens Next book. I'm 50,000 words in as I speak to you today and currently working to make sure that the book adds as much value as we can to people thinking about that next stage in their lives. Now, the book's not ready yet. It won't be out until sometime in 2025. I'm working hard to get it finished. But what you can do is sign up for the book waiting list so you're one of the first people that gets access. You can simply do that by visiting whathappensnext.life/book. Join the waiting list today and you'll be one of the first persons to get access to the book and some extra goodies when it comes out. It's designed to give you a starting point to look at where you are from a wellbeing perspective. It's free. You can do it for no cost at all. And what you'll get at the end of that quiz is, once we've asked you a number of questions, as I say, we've been building this for the last couple of months. Once we ask you a number of questions, work out
your level of well-being in a number of areas. So that includes all of the areas we look at as part of our What Happens Next model. Purpose and values. How clear are you that you're in a position where you're getting up every day knowing that you're doing what you want? Financial well-being. Do you know how much is enough? Are you financially secure? But also your emotions about money. How do you feel about money? Physical well-being. Do you look after yourself? And we define physical well-being, broadly speaking, in 3 areas: exercise, nutrition, and sleep. Social well-being. Have you got friends? We know that loneliness is a killer. We know loneliness impacts life expectancy. So are you investing time, effort, and energy in those relationships? Community well-being. We know kindness makes us happy. So having a element of your life committed to helping others, but also getting involved actively in your community is really important. And then intellectual well-being. What's keeping that brain ticking over? How are you managing to do that? So looking at well-being as a round. And this quiz that I'd ask you to do, and there'll be a link in the comments below, gives you an insight into the areas where you might be super strong, you might have really high financial well-being and have a low community well-being, so that you can make positive change in your life. It's free to do. Takes 3 to 5 minutes. I'd recommend you do it now. I'd also recommend, because we're going to be sharing loads more content on this channel, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on What Happens Next.
Part of the issue we've got when we're thinking about what happens next in our lives is having the self-awareness, having the introspection to be able to think about what the gaps in our well-being are. And we're doing loads of work at the minute with What Happens Next to build solutions that are going to help you think about well-being in a nuanced way when you're thinking about how it applies to your life. One of the first things we've built that you can use today is our What Happens Next quiz. It's free to do, takes about 5 minutes, but what it will do is give you an insight into the areas of strengths when it comes to your well-being and the areas you might want to improve. You can take the What Happens Next quiz at whathappensnext.life/quiz, and I hope it helps you in your journey to work out what happens next for you. So that's it, episode 39, bit of a shorter one this week, but hopefully it will give you insights in terms of helping you get better prepared for what happens next. The quiz really is a personal dashboard for the next chapter of your life. And as we continue to build the tools available at whathappensnext.life, we'll make sure that we provide more benefits to help you get your gauge, like a fuel gauge, where you are emotionally, socially, and intellectually, so you can focus your attention, which is the limited resource, attention and time, to ensure a fulfilling ride into whatever you choose to do next in your life. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you on What Happens Next soon.